Hello, everybody, and welcome in to another episode of your favorite sports podcast. Hopefully, it's mine. It should be yours too. The Weekly Gridiron Podcast. And as always, we are your hosts, Adam.
Dante.
And Luke.
As you can see, I got a Phillies hat on and I got a Panthers jersey on. It's a football episode, so got to wear a Panthers jersey. And the Phillies are on in like half an hour, almost a little under. So gotta rep the Phils. Playing the best team in the MLB, the Colorado Rockies tonight. So just
It should be a nail biter.
I know, I'm really nervous, man. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Congrats to Schwarber on 300. That's awesome.
Speaking of congratulations, we have a college graduate in the room. Shout out Dante,
Give me 1 second.
our slippery
Congratulations, sir.
slippery rock graduate.
I
Look at
appreciate it.
that.
Thank you guys. Even though I don't have my degree yet, but it'll be in there soon.
Yes, sir.
You earned it, man.
You
Thank you.
earned it.
Appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without you guys.
Big things ahead.
Yes, sir. I'm excited.
But yeah, we've got a lot to talk about today. Of course, a couple minutes before we went on, we saw the unfortunate news of the passing of Colts owner and CEO Jim Irsay. Of course, we don't know all of the reasons yet, but it was reported he passed away in his sleep this afternoon. So we all want to offer our condolences to the Colts organization. And yeah, just a terrible thing to see.
Yeah. Never want to see something like that.
Yeah. But anyways, we got a lot to talk about. Like I said, the NFL draft has come and gone. Our mock was totally 100% accurate. We got every single pick right. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But we
We did
could,
do how many didn't we start with the first eight or something though?
I think we were 6 for 6 to start.
Were we?
Maybe 7 for 7.
Because the Hunter thing, because the Jags traded
I
up.
Well,
think we were technically like
yeah,
No,
the pick
position
eight.
wise, you mean
you can count.
like where they got picked?
Like
Yeah.
we said, hey, Hunter's going two. We didn't
Okay.
say,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we're not counting it since the Browns browned and traded out of that pick.
Hey, Mason Graham's good.
He's good. He's not Travis Hunter.
He's not Travis Hunter.
Yeah, the Browns certainly had a very interesting draft. Had a very difficult time deciding who they wanted their rookie quarterback to be.
Hey man, they're just throwing whatever at the wall and seeing what sticks. I mean,
Yeah,
If anything
honestly,
sticks.
I was gonna say not a lot sticks in Cleveland,
yeah.
so
I mean, if I were to guess who I think would be the best quarterback coming out of that room, I would probably say Dylan Gabriel, to be honest. I'm not going with Shador, even though I wanted Shador.
Yeah.
I think Dylan Gabriel is better for what the Browns need, but
I
hey, they
still think
got. I was gonna say they got two Super Bowl champions in that room. Don't forget.
they do. Joe Flacco should start, I think. But anyway.
it's probably Shador, but
To
I
start, I'd say it's Flacco or
I
Pickett, to be honest.
no, I mean to start,
Uh,
it'll probably be Pickett.
that's
Like
I hope so.
the best in that room. Honestly, I don't know.
Best in that room right now, I'd say it's Flacco.
At this point, I'm not so sure, but at this point, I would probably play Pickett over Flacco,
Uh,
which coming from me is crazy. But
yeah. If I was
Well,
the Browns, I'd play Pickett, but
I think they probably will. But
yeah,
yeah, probably. I was gonna say, do we want to give a little recap? I know our three teams had pretty good drafts from what I saw. So
sure.
who wants to start?
Well, Luke's Patriots had
yeah,
third.
I guess we had the highest pick.
Sure, go for it, Luke.
Taking Will Campbell, obviously, at pick number four. The
Love
right
him.
pick.
Love him.
Love him, yeah. Not necessarily the exciting pick, and any other year he might not have been a top five talent, but at our spot with our needs, completely fine with it. Especially since you hear him saying immediately after getting drafted that he will fight and die for Drake May,
That got me hype, and I'm not even a Pats.
someone he's probably never met. So that that's all you really need to hear from that position. Um, and it would have been a bigger issue if we didn't address other needs pretty much immediately after. Um, I don't know if we're going like our entire draft class at a time, but I'll just talk about like uh the main picks. They're the 38th overall, early in the second round. Trayvon Henderson from Ohio State, running back. It
Love
does
that
kind
pick.
of spells certain doom for Ramondre Stevenson, but at this point in his career, he's already been paid and he's played a year under that contract, and he has not been improving. Those fumble problems are still plaguing him, and so at this point, it was the right thing to do to bring it back into this room, to draft one here. I didn't want to reach for Ashton Genty in the first round, which was an idea. This was a much better decision than to uh, pass up on Will Campbell for Ashton Genty or something. Trayvon Henderson early in the second round. I really like the pick. I think he'll be great. And then I'll just mention, then I'm not going to talk about the rest of the guys. A third round pick, 69th overall. Kyle Williams, nice pick. Um, Wide receiver out of Washington State, much better than out of Washington. Um,
Nice.
which is where
Get
we
it out of
took
the way. Oh my
better
God.
than out of Washington, which is where we took Jalen Polk out of last year. So we can just avoid that school forever.
Man, I thought Jalen Polk was gonna be good.
I thought both of those guys were going to be good. I mean, there's still time, right? Like Kayshon Boutte had a nothing rookie year and might have led us in yards last year. So it's odd, and the coaching was a disaster last year. So I'm not going to completely rule out Polk or Baker being a factor in this offense next year. But drafting a wide receiver third round, um, hopefully he gets a fair shot to prove his worth on the field. Unlike that was the other thing is the other guys last year didn't really get the snaps. I find it hard to believe in the wide receiver room we had that was all that reasonable. Excuse me. So above all else, I just hope he gets some chance to be productive. And if Drake May can get a real weapon here in the third round instead of just somebody who's going to have 300 yards and maybe 600 yards as their best year here, then that would be really valuable.
Yeah.
hmm Well, I guess the Panthers had the eighth overall pick. Like Luke did, I don't have to go over every single pick, but I'll highlight the best ones. And my favorite ones, of course, eighth overall, going with Tet McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. I know we said we probably needed defense, but deep down, Tet was just a fantastic prospect. Love everything about him. I wanted us to take him, and I'm very happy we did. I mean, he's a 6'4" receiver who can catch one-on-ones. Like, crazy. Like that's the kind of guy you want to get Bryce Young. And then going on to round two and three, traded up twice, got two edge rushers. I'm happy with both. Nick Scorton is the first one, edge out of Texas A&M, and the second one, I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing his name. Princely Uman Milan, I think is how you say it, but I've heard a lot of good things about him as well, so I'm very happy with that. And then on day three, probably my two favorite picks from that day, of course, got to start with Ohio Stater himself, safety Lathan Ransom. I was very happy with that pick. Liked him a lot at Ohio State last year, and I think he's going to be a big help. And then a very interesting one, Trevor Etienne, running back out of Florida. I believe Florida. Yeah, Florida. The interesting thing with Carolina is Jonathan Brooks, our running back we drafted in the second round last year, is out basically the whole season with a foot injury or an ACL injury. So we were going to need an RB3 enter Trevor Etienne. So I'm happy with that pick. I hope we see him get some run. And then one last pick I want to highlight is a guy I've heard a lot of good things about as well. Jimmy Horn Jr., wide receiver from Colorado. Really fast wide receiver. If you have a chance to watch his highlights, he is very quick and very speedy, and I'm pretty intrigued to see how we fit him into the offense and work him in a game. So, yeah, overall, very happy, very satisfied. I believe this is Dan Morgan's second draft class, and I think he nailed it this year. And who knows? These could be the rookies and the draft class that sets the table for Carolina getting back to the playoffs. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I
Yeah.
like it.
Cool. Well, for the Steelers, pick 21. Seems like they're always picking in the 20 to 24 range every year. But I won't get into that. At pick 21, we all know who I wanted. I wanted at least a quarterback, but the Steelers decided to go defensive line and take Derek Harmon out of Oregon, who is an absolute stud. I'm super excited to have him and to add him to the defensive line. and we finally have a succession plan after Cam Hayward. But for now, we're going to enjoy having him, Cam, and Keanu Benton on that defensive line, along with our two star-studded edge rushers. But third round, since we did not have our second, for which we traded for DK Metcalf, but our third round pick at 83, my personal favorite pick for the Steelers all draft, Mr. Caleb Johnson, running back out of Iowa. And honestly, guys, I feel like after Genty in this draft, you could put Caleb Johnson up with a Henderson, a Judkins. Really, this guy is a beast. He's exactly what the Steelers needed. He's elusive, but also a power back. I think he's going to mesh real well with Jalen Warren and Kenny Gainwell in that backfield, and I'm super excited to see him play. Also, just seems like he has a super good head on his shoulders and seems really willing to work. Round four, Adam loves this one. National champion Jack Sawyer, huge. I do view him as a project for the Steelers. I do think does have some weakness to his game, but the guy knows how to win, and he's ferocious once he gets to the quarterback. So I'm super stoked on Jack Sawyer. We got Y.A. Black, defensive tackle from Iowa. We got Carson Bruner. We got Dante Kent, but we all know my guy, Adam's guy. We got Will Howard. Um, I was really nervous going into day three. I'm like, still don't have a quarterback, but I'm stoked on Will Howard. I think I'm not getting my hopes up that he will be the future. I know we've talked about this privately, but um, I feel like if given the opportunity, which I don't think he'll be given a lot of opportunities this coming season, who knows? Um, but if given, I think he could be at least a solid piece to this roster. But the Steelers not drafting quarterback to round six really shows that we all know it. I mean, Rodgers, he'll be wearing the black and gold this season. I feel like it's all but confirmed. But yeah, I'm happy with the Steeler draft. I feel like, having that second round pick would have been nice, but I'm stoked on DK, so I can't really complain. But yeah, go Steelers.
Yeah, I doubt you're gonna find anybody who would over the next 5 years match up to what DK Metcalf brings you there in the second
Very true.
round. So
Especially at the receiver position.
yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of receivers, Dante, I know you had another thing you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. I feared this day would come. Um, it was, I believe, my final week of college, and I woke up at about 7 a.m. to a call from my roommate, and he goes, "Did we really just trade George Pickens?" And I thought I was dreaming. I thought I was having a nightmare. Thought I was having sleep paralysis, night terrors, but I was not. I looked at my phone, and the Steelers traded George Pickens, probably my favorite Steeler, to the Dallas Cowboys for a third round pick. And at the time, I was super upset. I was super, not happy, but I sat on it and I thought, George Pickens, incredible wide receiver. In my opinion, the best receiver we've had since prime Antonio Brown. Um, However, he did have some off the field stuff with the media. However, I do think a lot of the stuff he said was valid and true because he should have been getting the ball more than anybody on the team. However, you can't be, causing bringing negative light to the roster, but and plus you'll have to pay him after this season, and I'm sure he'll be expecting similar money to what DK Metcalf got, which it's really not realistic. Even though I do think he's a great receiver, um, but I think people are saying we're right back in the position we were last offseason with not having a wide receiver too. I truly don't think last season we had a true wide receiver one. I mean, Pickens was incredible, but I think DK Metcalf is a better receiver, and I'm sure you guys may agree with that. But yeah, getting some value out of GP now, um, while he's still, you know, as valuable as he is, I think was solid. I wish we would have got a second round pick for him, and I wish we would have traded him before the draft so we could address that in the draft. Um, but all we could do is just move forward and work with what we got. I do expect the Steelers to sign a guy or maybe even trade for a guy I could see in Amari Cooper coming to the Steelers. I could see a guy like Keenan Allen coming to the Steelers. I don't expect it, but I know we've been in talks for Chris Olave. I would absolutely adore that. I feel like he would be a good complement to DK, but um, I'm just worried about the quarterback position. Figure out the quarterback and then worry about who your receivers are and who the playmakers are going to be. But yeah, GP is a Dallas Cowboy, and I'm bummed out, but at least he's in the NFC, and I don't have to deal with him. So
That's true. Yeah, I knew you'd be bummed out about it, but I mean, like we've kind of said, we know he was on the hook to be paid a lot. You said the character things. Um, and I mean, at the end of the day, DK Metcalf is going to be fantastic for you guys.
yeah, I'm really excited to see him. Um, I feel like he'll be a better leader than Pickens was for that room, and I feel like him getting the majority of the targets is going to be solid for us. So yeah,
Yeah,
I hope we get Rodgers. I think we will get Rodgers, but no matter who we get out there, I'm sure DK will look pretty good.
Yeah, yeah,
I agree. I think it's going to happen. Um, like anybody, I'm not quite sure what the holdup is. Aaron Rodgers, he's an interesting, mysterious man. I'm sure he has some personal stuff he's going through. That's what he says, at least.
Hmm.
Mm. It does seem like he's on a collision course to become a Steeler.
Hmm.
But like you said, I think that that's more important than what the wide receiver room at this point. And there are other guys you could potentially plug in there. There are some guys that are still out there. You were mentioning, you didn't mention Gabe Davis, a
Gabe
couple other
Davis,
guys, even though I don't think he's tremendous or anything. But um, it it I would agree that you're not in a as bad of a spot as you were in last year, but just simply off the fact that I think DK Metcalf is an upgrade to George Pickens.
right?
And it seems like you agree there. And I think that it kind of speaks volumes the fact that Mike Tomlin was like, yeah, this was me. Like I was one who was doing this trade, and there were reports that teams didn't want to trade for Pickens. Um, but could have something to do with the fact that he's due to get paid, but the Cowboys have no problem uh, walking that thin line. So I think it's a good fit for him. Um, the fit with DK was interesting. The fit with CD is going to be just as interesting. But I think the Steelers will be all right.
Yeah, that's another thing I took into consideration. I mean, we got a second. I mean, we gave up a second for DK and got a third for GP. That's probably right if we're
It's
talking about.
probably about
That's
right. Yeah.
probably accurate
Mhm.
and fair. Um, relatively to each trade. But yeah, so I'm not too upset about the third, given that, like Luke just mentioned, a lot of teams weren't willing to trade for him, and the fact that you could give him to an NFC team to where you don't have to, play him a lot. That's also very cool. So I'm excited to see him in Dallas. I'm rooting for him. I hope he plays really well. Even though a lot of Steelers fans may not agree with me there, because as soon as a guy leaves the Steelers, he needs to play bad, or else Mike Tomlin and the Steelers are going to look
One
like.
thing's for sure, it won't be boring.
No, it won't be.
It will
And
be very interesting to see how that plays out.
and I'm interested to see how GP reacts not getting as many targets as CeeDee Lamb. I mean,
Yeah.
he needs to get it through his head that CeeDee Lamb is a top three receiver, I would say, in the league, probably,
yeah.
as we'll get into
I was
in
gonna say we'll
but
be
yeah.
Well,
talking about that.
we were. I'll just raise this point if I'm not cutting you off, then we can move on. But like,
You're good.
I was talking to someone, I think my uncle or my dad. They read an article. George Pickens is really going to have to run like a lot of like love of the game routes, meaning like really quality routes
Yeah.
where he knows that he's not getting the ball to free up CeeDee Lamb, and he's gonna have to really bide his time and like be patient with the targets because they say he's 1A, 1B, fine, but he's 1B.
And
Um,
I think he's two, man.
he's
CeeDee
going to have
Lamb
to
is
put
so
in,
good.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he's
And I
gonna
mean,
have to really put in as much effort as he can every single play, knowing half the time he's not getting the ball. And he didn't like putting in that much effort when he knew he should get the ball.
I,
So
yeah. I just think the real question is DK, I mean, GP and CeeDee Lamb, or DK and Robert Woods. I mean, I feel like that's the question.
yeah, I don't
I'm joking. Yeah, of course.
know. I mean, what I was gonna say was like, I talked to my dad about this too. I think it's a really great fit for Pickens because he and CD will really complement each other well. Because like The
Yeah.
things CD Lamb is not good at, Pickens is good at. The things Pickens is not good at, CD Lamb is good at. So
And who's their three? Jalen Tolbert,
I guess.
who's not bad. He'll be good.
Brennan Cook's still there?
Cooks. I don't know if he's still there. No, I think he went back to the Saints.
Oh yeah, that's right, he did.
Yeah.
But I guess my other question about this is my interest level is at the contract. I don't know what's going to happen with Pickens and getting paid and stuff because they still got to pay Micah Parsons too, don't they?
I'm fairly certain I've heard it was either GPs. I'm mixing up GP and DK right now. I'm pretty sure I heard Pickens' agent or Pickens himself said, I'm testing free agency after this year with the Cowboys." So
Hmm.
I think he basically just said, I'm spending a year with the Cowboys and seeing what my market is.
I
So,
mean, that's fair as well.
yeah,
Bet on yourself. I mean, I know DK got his extension with the Steelers already, so
5 years. Yeah. So I that's another reason why I'm cool with the trade. It's because you have a plan at wide receiver one for years to come, you know.
just
So
got to figure out the two. Hey, maybe Calvin Austin takes a big step. Maybe this is finally the year Roman Wilson emerges too.
yeah, listen, I'm as big as a Calvin Austin fan as anybody. I think he was, an unsung hero last year. He, you know, made a lot of big plays, had a big touchdown against the Giants. The Cleveland game I went to had a huge catch in the end zone to take the lead. I think Calvin Austin had a long touchdown from Justin Fields against the Chargers. I feel like Calvin Austin could be really, really good as a slot guy. I don't think he has the size or the build to be like an outside two, but maybe a number two target, but not like a number two outside guy. That's why I'd love a guy like Chris Olave, but like that's wishful thinking. I would have loved like an Emeka Ibuka if we have traded GP before the draft. Just saying, but
Then at the same time, Tampa Bay took him 19th, and I mean, no one
19.
was expecting that.
Or Luther Burden was like a 39th overall pick. That would have been sick. Either way.
Anyways, we got
Yeah.
a lot to get at with wide receivers because I believe this is the first time WG's ever doing a tier list.
Hold on. One second. Chill. Don't look at that. There we go.
A tier list.
Let's
So
go. Yeah, is this our first tier list?
I
Wow.
believe so. And we've got a lot of guys here. This is
We
I
have a
look,
single Patriot on here.
it was tough because, you
You want me
know,
to look for another one?
No, 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 no,
no.
no,
I
no.
like
That's
this
good.
one. I was gonna say when I was looking, it was tough because I wanted to find one that was long but wouldn't take like hours. There
Yeah.
were some with like 100 names on there,
Yeah.
but were just pictures of players, and I'm looking, I'm like, I don't know all these people.
Right.
So like the
I
one
like
with
that.
the names helps.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Okay, if Brandon Cooks and AD Mitchell and Deontay Johnson are on here, I'm sure the cutoff is fine. I don't think we have to go any farther than it already has.
I mean,
And Jahan Dotson and Mike Williams.
Hollywood Brown.
Yeah. No, no disrespect. Terry McLaurin, or not Terry McLaurin, Tyler Lockett is next to each other. Yeah, okay. Stephon Diggs is on here, so we do have one Patriot.
that.
There we
Do
go.
we have a Panther? Is Adam? I don't see a Panther. That's okay.
Panthers? Are you serious?
Isn't that? I don't see Thielen.
What? We need a Panther on here, man.
I could self put in a Panther and
That's
zero.
ridiculous.
It's all good. I mean, if you want to look for another one, you can, but I like this one. My
Look,
my one complaint was I couldn't find one with 2025 draft guys, but I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how we'd rank them at the same time because like they
Yeah.
haven't yet.
I feel like this is good. You know,
Yeah, let's go with this.
Adam, you know what it was? Deontay Johnson was probably a Panther whenever this came out.
Probably.
That's probably what it was.
Well, which
Yeah.
which means we would have had no Patriots, but
Oh
That
yeah.
was,
because then
that was
Stephon
an
Diggs wouldn't
interesting.
have been a Patriot. But it works out.
Yeah.
Are we just keeping the tiers named S, A, B, C, and D, or do we
You
want
guys wanna
to
do you guys wanna we could edit them if you want.
make them something cool?
S. What should we put for S?
Can we make it like goats, like the best ones.
We'll
Or
go elite.
I'm trying to think of I don't know if you know Wyatt's World.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of a Wyatt's World tier list. Of course, the the last tier. Well, I guess you can put it because even though it's a cuss word, he puts it all the time, and his YouTube is still alive. So
Yeah.
also, I have the Knicks and Pacers game on the TV over here, and I just watched a camera angle of some Knicks player going flying into the dude with the camera.
You do like mid,
Yep.
Yeah.
and for the last row, it could just be like Deontay Johnson.
No, we'll go
Dante, don't or Dante Moncrief,
All right, Dante Moncrief.
Dante Moncrief-esque.
All right, that
There
works.
you
Oh,
go.
great.
Cool.
All right. So I guess we are starting out with AD Mitchell.
Okay, so do you guys want to do like Adam takes one, I'll take one, then Luke takes one?
Yeah, that's fine.
You can do
And
that.
if anybody has any like big objections, you can speak up.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Who wants to start?
You could go, Adam.
All right. Huh, he's a tough one. I mean, I think he could be good, but from what I heard last year, I would probably say mid.
I
I
agree.
don't think he's Dante Moncrief-esque. He's got 1 year under his belt. It wasn't the best year, but
Yeah.
he's got plenty of time. All right.
Okay, I'll go next. I don't think this should be a debate. I think AJ Brown is elite.
Yeah.
Agreed. I
Okay,
was
cool.
gonna say this one's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Luke?
At this point in his career, Amari Cooper just has to go in mid. I
Yeah.
think he's still good, but the production wasn't there with the Bills, and he's unsigned. He's definitely got to cap it at mid.
Yeah, true.
Now, this is another one that I personally think is this, and I will say at the end, if we disagree with some things or want to move some players around, we can do that. Um, I'm gonna say elite for Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I would agree. I would go lower tier elite, but
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, he's definitely there.
Although he may end up in very good by the end of this, but I think elite right now.
I think elite's fine.
Okay,
I think I think Dante should rank his compose mail in the tier list.
what is that?
The in your toolbar up there in
Oh
your
yeah.
Smell.
or a look at the Steelers 2025 draft.
You guys are freaks. All right,
Okay.
hold on.
Anyways, I guess
Um,
Dante's up with Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. I think he borderline solid.
Yeah.
I think he's high mid though.
He's had a very respectable career. Hall
Yeah,
of very good career.
yeah. Holla, very good indeed. Yeah.
Mid is fine for Brandon Cooks because you guys might think this is a really hot take, but I was gonna put Brandon Ayuk as like super high solid.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
gonna bump him down all the way to solid based off last year, but
That's very reasonable.
Yeah.
you could definitely put him in very good. But
I
I
mean,
think he had a pretty nothing last year, so
I was
He
gonna
just
say
like he got injured, so it's really tough, you know.
getting hurt is
yeah,
out of your control, but at the same time, he was not playing good at all when he was on the field. So
Yeah.
okay. Brian Thomas Jr. Now, I feel like it's still too early to call him elite, but I think he's worthy of being very good.
I agree. Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
This time next year, he might be an elite.
Dude, he's so good.
I know.
He's like I'm stoked to see him and Travis, see how they'll blend.
Yes, yeah.
Trevor Lawrence has no excuses.
I saw a stat today about Trevor Lawrence, a little off topic. His stats and Daniel Jones' stats are identical.
Yeah.
They're the same. Um, is Trevor Lawrence Daniel Jones?
Yes.
Yes.
More expensive Daniel Jones.
Unequivocally, yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
Each
Adam,
have a playoff win, so
where am I at? I'm up with Calvin Ridley. Um, I would put Calvin Ridley in solid. I'd put him about the same tier as Brandon Ayuk. However, I'd put him above Brandon Ayuk. Um, I think he could be good he's with the Titans, correct? Yes.
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
I think he could be a good target for Cam Ward this upcoming season. And that's about all I have to say about Calvin Ridley. So,
Yeah. Um, I get
Not
the
much
easy
to say
job
when
of
you're talking
putting
about the Titans. So
I get the easy job of putting CD Lamb up in elite.
yeah.
Where in elite? It's up to you guys. I'll put him probably between those two guys.
Yeah, I agree.
either in between or at the front. I don't know. It's tough. Him or AJ.
Is CD Lamb better than AJ Brown?
It's close. It's
I
very
would say
close.
so.
Probably.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Chris Godwin, very good
And
for sure.
State Legends. Very good, you think?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I
I
get
mean, he had a really good year last year until he went down with an injury, which should not have happened, by the way, because when he got hurt, the Bucks had already lost the game to the Ravens pretty much, and they were just keeping him out there.
yeah.
So, yeah, if he had stayed healthy, he could have finished off with a very good year. So, I think that's a good spot for him.
Cool. So I'm up with Chris Olave.
Yes, sir.
I would put Olave in very good as well. I think Olave is, the only bright spot to that Saints team. Um, Once again, I'd love him on the Steelers. I'd give up a second round pick for him. But minus the concussions, of course. But I love Olave. He's one of my favorite receivers in the league. So yeah, very good.
Yeah. Um, Christian Kirk, I would probably put at the bottom of solid. I think he's better than mid, but at this point,
I
I feel like
personally, I think Amari Cooper is better.
I think Amari Cooper is better.
Adam, thoughts?
That's a bit of a
Yeah.
hard sell for me currently, but
Uh, I don't know.
I'll put him down at like the top of mid.
Nah, because he's not mid. He's solid.
Yeah, I think he's solid.
I'll keep him there. Yeah, he's not mid.
Well, we can talk about it more later, but
Yeah, we
getting
can best.
to myself with one that's very easy, I firmly believe Christian Watson can be our first player in Dante Moncrief-esque.
Really? Wow.
I don't think he's very good,
Wow.
but it's up to you guys. Well, I want to know what you think, of course.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
I'm
Uh,
not gonna like argue that. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna argue for him.
I
Yeah,
feel like we're
same.
also not going to have a lot of players in there, so
Yeah, Christian Watson being our first one's crazy. Uh, okay, Cup. I'm in between solid. I'll probably put him right here. I think that's a good spot for Cup. You
that's
could
fair. At
argue
this point,
above Ridley right now, but I think that's a good spot for him, right and solid.
at
Yeah,
this
that's
point,
fine.
I think so. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what level of production he jumps off to with Seattle.
Sure.
Yeah,
Um, I think Cortland Sutton's very good.
I
Thank
agree.
you.
I
Yeah,
love
Yes.
Cortland Sutton.
maybe the best 50-50 ball catcher in the league. I think
That's what
he's
I was
very,
about to say.
I
He
think he's
is.
very good.
Portland Sutton is the most underrated receiver in the league, and I'll stand on
Yeah.
that.
Weren't there rumors for a tiny period of time that he could have been a Steeler like last year or the year before?
Dude, I almost swore, but fucking Michael Irvin was like projected to be a Steeler. Like every single receiver in the league was like, he could be a Steeler, bro. Jerry Rice is will he be a Steeler? Dude,
I
Kendrick Bourne could be a Steeler.
I
is
thought Terry McLaurin is holding out right now, sort of. So
I don't expect that, but dude,
yeah,
if we got Terry McLaurin, I would fall to my knees. Anyway, Adam, you're up with Curtis Samuel.
ah, Curtis Samuel, Panthers legend, love that guy. But he's nothing more than mid, and he probably can go at the very end of mid. I'd say he's not Dante Moncrief-esque, but
Yeah. Devontae Adams.
another interesting one.
I- It's tough. I
If you
think
want, I was gonna say, do you want my opinion?
yes,
I think he still belongs in very good. But I don't understand if you put him toward the end of very good.
Luke, what's your take?
I think he belongs at the top of solid.
Okay.
Oh, so it's on me.
I don't like him any more than I like Cooper Kupp. I'll put it that way.
Really?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
interesting because he's replacing Cooper Cup.
true.
I think he's but right now I think Cortland Sutton is a better receiver than Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
I
I think
definitely
that
agree
too.
with that.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. Luke, is that you with D Hop?
How hot of a take do I make here? Um, well, he's definitely going in mid. The que What is that a hot take itself?
No,
No, it's
not
not.
at
It's
all.
just the fact of putting DeAndre Hopkins in mid is just I can't
Or
wrap
would
my
you
head
have
around.
liked me to put him in Dante Moncrief-esque?
No, I agree that he should be in mid. It's just the
Yeah,
fact that his
I
fall
know.
from
It's
grace.
just the fact that these words are coming out of our mouth. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This time next year, though, I could see him being toward Moncrief-esque tier.
I would put him top of mid.
that's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
I
And I put
look,
Cooper.
I was gonna say I don't hate D Hop, but if you know the year OBJ just had with the Dolphins, I could see that being the kind of year D Hop has with Baltimore or close to it.
He
Maybe
had like a
maybe
nothing
OBJ
year.
Ravens.
Did he even have like 200 yards with the Dolphins?
Okay, all right. Maybe I'm getting too harsh.
I forgot he was even a Raven, to be honest.
Well, we all know Lamar
OBJ.
makes his wide receivers, so
Yeah. You know? Anyway,
All right.
Adam.
Debo Samuel. Solid, I would say. I don't think he's that bad to put him in mid. I'd
no,
even argue putting him above Christian Kirk, but that's about as high as I'd go.
mm,
I'd put him above Ayuk.
I wouldn't do
I,
that.
I
No?
mean, I could
No,
argue
I
that too,
wouldn't.
but
All right.
I
Well,
mean, Luke says no, I say yes, so I think the middle is fine. Yeah, we kind of meet in the middle on that.
cool.
We'll see. Maybe if he, uh, maybe this will be a better fit for him, but he just was not impressive at all to me last year.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm up with Devontae Smith. This guy's borderline elite.
Yes, thank you.
I would
Thank you.
put him top of very good.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I
Devontae,
Listen,
would
ev-
probably put him below Brian Thomas Jr., but
I don't know.
very
I
good
I
is
would keep him there right now. I would keep him above BT right now. I don't know.
he's the experience.
Everyone talks about if T. Higgins was a wide receiver one somewhere else, he'd be this great guy. No one says that about Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is great. It's
Yeah.
best wide receiver two in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Unless
best.
you're forgetting somebody.
Yeah, I'd keep him there. All right.
Anyways, Luke, you have the honor of.
Christian Watson's gonna have company, and
I think we
Dante
can all
Montgomery
agree on
has
this one.
Oh man. All right.
Deontay Johnson.
He is a Brown, so I'm cool with it.
He's a Brown, yeah,
Some dude on the Knicks just missed
non-factor.
Ananobi, I think.
Dude,
Um,
this is working out great. Look at the next three are Adam gets DJ Moore, I get DK, and Luke gets Dontavian Wicks.
Yeah, who? Well, I couldn't even tell you much about him, but
Here, I have a petition here. Before you get to this three, can we go maybe a little bit out of order? Dante, I know you're gonna want to do Pickens. I'd love to do Garrett Wilson. Luke, would you be okay with taking Drake London?
that's fine. I can't wait for to hear the Garrett Wilson and George Pickens elite conversations.
Oh man.
You two have at it. Yeah, I'll take Drake London.
All right.
Okay. You're up
Anyways,
DJ Moore, Adam.
um, oh, this is tough. I
It's
think
not
he
tough for me.
belongs at the bottom of very good.
That's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous to say that.
Listen, I mean, he had a compared to his 2023, last year was a down year, but he's still one of the better receivers in the league, in my opinion.
He is not better than Cooper Cup, guys.
Yes, he is.
I
No,
mean,
he's not.
listen,
He's
I
just
don't
not.
Cooper
What?
Cup's Cooper Cup's great, but Cooper Cup gets hurt all the time. I don't know where to rank
Okay,
Cooper
fine.
Cup.
He's not better than Devontae Adams.
I think he is.
Well, actually, I don't. I think I
No,
could
leave
agree
him
with
there. Leave him
Luke
there.
and
Leave him there.
I
But
might agree with Luke and still say Devontae Adams belongs very good, but
Do you
we can
want to
leave.
switch them? Do you want to switch and put Devontae in very good?
that's not even the argument I'm making. But
Do you want to? So Luke wants to put him right there.
I would settle for right there.
That's fine.
Luke wants
That's
to put him right there.
That would be fine with me. You can leave him where he was. Leave him where he was.
All right, we'll
We
adjust.
can look at it at the very end and make changes, of course.
Okay. So I'm up with DK,
Yeah.
my sweet Pookie Bear. I think he's very good. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he is slightly better than Cortland Sutton.
I'd say above Olave too.
Okay.
Even Chris Godwin. I would.
Sick.
That works perfectly for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um Don Dontavian Wicks, I really don't know much about him.
Personally, I'd put him in like above Christian Kirk. I think Dontavian Wicks is pretty solid.
I was gonna at least put him in mid. So I have no problem with that. Christian Kirk is kind of cut off. That's fine with me. You can put him somewhere at the bottom of solid. That works for me because I do remember like I see good highlights of his every once in a while.
Yeah.
For his standpoint, I would say more undervalued.
Yeah. I think he is the best receiver on the Packers, even though it doesn't say much. But maybe not now because they got Matthew Golden, but that's neither here nor there. But last season I think
Um,
he was the best receiver. Romeo Dobbs, you could argue, but
Jaden Reed maybe, but
Jaden Reed too. Yeah. They have a lot of guys who just need to take another step. But
yeah. Drake London, I would put somewhere in very good.
okay.
Probably towards the bottom.
I'd put
That
him
that's
Yeah, I agree.
cool.
I used to not like him, but I'm becoming more of a fan now. He's a good player.
I like Drake London.
And I love Garrett Wilson, listen, but I would probably put him in the top area of solid. I don't think he's very good.
Cool. I'd put him
Somewhere
that's
very
around
fine.
there.
good.
I mean, he
I
is,
think Garrett I think Garrett
but
Wilson's better than DJ Moore.
I agree.
okay, then sure, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I just didn't want to sound too ridiculous.
No. I think Garrett Wilson is so good. He's once again very underrated.
I
Uh,
think Dante wants Garrett Wilson to be a Steeler.
I would cry. Yes. GP. I'd put him right there.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah.
Cool.
I have no problem with that.
Okay, are we just going back to the top with me
Yeah.
then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Jahan Dotson, Penn State legend, of course.
Never dropped anything. Love John Dotson.
I'd probably put him either above AD Mitchell or above Curtis Samuel, I think.
Okay.
I don't think he's bad enough for Moncrief tier.
I'd put him right there.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I was
that
thinking.
works for me.
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. All right, Dante, you get a really hard one here.
Jamar Chase, and he's gonna be hold on, not right there. Right there or right there. I'd put him there.
I'd put him number one.
I put him number
Really?
one.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? I won't fight that.
I think he's the best in the league, maybe. Either him or Jefferson. It's
We'll
one
get to
of the
Jefferson.
two.
But I'll give
We
my
could say Jefferson, but JMO, I'd put probably top of solid, bottom of very good, probably top of solid.
okay.
It's tough.
You think he's better than Devontae?
Yeah,
You think he's better than DJ Moore?
I really hate DJ Moore as benchmark. I'm not gonna lie. I really can't stand having DJ Moore as a benchmark, but right there is fine.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I have no problem with that right there.
I think you just really hate DJ Moore.
I really don't hate DJ Moore. I just think he's very top of solid kind of guy.
I get you.
We can move him to the top of solid.
Whatever. I mean, we'll talk
I'd
about it.
say I'd say let's do that and do that.
All right, that
I
works.
feel like we're really overrating Calvin Ridley, for being honest. That might just be me.
I think so too.
Yeah, who put this?
Yeah, we are
We could,
really
we
overrated.
could put, do you want to put Calvin Ridley behind Cup? I think that's respectable.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
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 better.
good. I
I
like
know
that.
Luke wasn't a fan of Cup's original replacement or original placements, though.
No, I think it's fine for him, but I just think, yeah, that looks much better.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All
Who's
right,
up now?
JSN. That'll be you, Adam.
Oh, really? Perfect. Um, he's definitely solid. I want to say very good, but he's not there yet. After this year, possibly. But I will say, I think in between Cooper Cup and Calvin Ridley is fair.
I would put him above Jamison Williams.
Dude, I would put him above,
Really?
like, I'd put him right between Courtland Sutton and Garrett Wilson.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes,
JSN's good, man.
yes.
I didn't think y'all were that high on him. Okay, then sure, let's put him there. I'm fine with that personally. I just, I wanted to set like a fair ground.
Nah, JSN, man, he had a really good year.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Dante with Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed, I'll put him right behind Octavian Wicks. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, they don't have a true one down there. So, I mean, you could say like they're on the same tier in Green Bay. So,
Yeah, an interesting one coming up here.
oh, this is a perfect one for Luke.
I think you can throw him right behind. Debo Samuel, Jalen Waddle. Down there rotting in solid.
The
I
fall
was gonna
from
say I know
grace.
Luke's not the biggest Waddle fan.
That might even be a little generous to him, honestly.
I like Jalen Waddle.
Jordan Addison, before his clearly better teammate. Jordan Addison's an interesting one because I feel like he's similar to like JSN, Garrett Wilson, but I don't think he's as good as them. I'd say Addison's a solid guy. Uh, I
I
mean,
I'll tell you where
I,
I would put him. I
I,
would put
go
him.
ahead.
I would put him between Cup and Ridley.
I was considering should I put him above Cup, but I don't think I would. So I think that's a perfect placement.
Cool.
What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, another hard one for Dante.
Jay Jettas, and I think he's better than Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
That's
that's fair. I won't
yeah,
argue
I
with that.
won't argue that.
He's one of my favorite receivers in the league. I know
One
that's
A,
like
one B.
basic, but I love watching him play, and he's just such a good dude too. So
Yeah, of course.
All right. Keenan Allen, at this point, I would put at the bottom of solid.
That's
fair, yeah.
definitely fair.
He can just barely escape being called mid, but he's not better than any of those guys on solid.
He still has some games where he pops off once or twice, but that's really about it for him at this point. Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Keon Coleman. Oh man. I don't know if I'm ready to call him solid yet. He showed some flashes. I feel like it's similar to like Xavier Legette, where he showed flashes last year, but he didn't have like a fantastic season. I'd I'd probably say very top of mid or right behind D Hop for Keon Coleman.
I think it's a good spot.
I think he is. I put him right behind Diop.
That's what I
Yeah,
was
that's fine with me.
thinking. Yeah,
All right, Lad. Um,
I like Lad.
I like
He'd
Lad
be a
too.
Patriot.
I would put him.
He's got that first guy in, last guy out
Let me
mentality.
put let me put it this way. I don't think it's possible for you to put him too high for me.
I
I mean,
was
like
gonna put him.
you're not going to surprise me.
I was gonna put him solid, right behind Jordan Addison.
I'm just going to throw it out there. I would have heard out a very good argument for Lad. Um, but if you think that's a hot take, you'll love what I'm about to say.
Okay,
Malik Neighbors, right behind CD Lamb. Elite.
he's not
Ooh,
better than Amon Ra.
Yes, he is.
No,
Yes,
no,
he is.
no, man. You
Dude, I
think he's
don't
better than
know.
AJ Brown?
Yes.
What?
Dude, he's that good.
He's not better than AJ, dude.
I don't. All right.
I could hear out Amon Ra. I can't hear out he's better than AJ Brown is what? I'd put him.
Okay.
mm,
You can put him below Amon Ra, but he's going in elite.
I no. I'll compromise and put him between those two.
Dude, he's that good. I'm telling you,
I
man.
can agree with that. And I honestly, I don't think saying he's better than AJ Brown is ridiculous.
What? Okay. That's. Do you want to put him above AJ Brown? That's more.
No, no, no. Leave him
No,
there. Leave
no,
him
no.
there.
Let's
Okay.
not.
Because
Hmm.
maybe I went a little bit too generous just for the shock factor, but I still think he's elite. So
All right. Wow.
All right. Hollywood Brown. Um, I mean, I was gonna say solid, but I think he's more mid.
Yeah, he's. I would say he's.
Probably behind Keon Coleman.
All right. Yeah, I can deal with that.
I was gonna ask for Marv, but I don't know where to put him, honestly. I'm kind of drawing a blank with Marv. It's so tough to rank him right now.
Maserati Marv. If I'm
I know
going,
exactly. I think I know exactly where I put him.
Where would you put him?
what do you think?
Somewhere in the middle of solid,
That's right.
behind.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
I think he is right now. He's very similar to Calvin Ridley. I would put him between Ladd and Ridley. TBH,
Yeah, I think that's fine.
right there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good with that.
Even though I do think he's gonna be very good eventually.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Michael Pittman. I like Michael Pittman.
I do too.
I don't like him that much though. Um, I'm gonna put him in mid.
Ooh,
Really?
Yeah, it's harsh, but
I could see him being a solid guy for
he
sure.
did nothing last year.
That's also true. I
He
forgot.
did absolutely nothing last year.
all right. You want to go top of mid, or you want to put him behind anybody?
See, I'd still take him above Keenan Allen.
I would.
I wouldn't. I
Hmm.
don't think.
Okay.
Not based. The production was so nothing that if you give me the two guys alone to choose who to start a team with, I'd probably take Michael Pittman. But based off the production last year, you could put him there. Yeah,
Okay.
top of mid is good for me.
Okay. This one's pretty easy for me, and I'm hoping you guys agree. Mike Evans, elite. I'd probably put him at the end of the elite tier. I think he's elite.
I think I'm right between. Oh, I don't think he's better.
Listen,
A
Is Mike?
right,
thousand yards every year.
but okay,
No.
right now, I don't think he's elite right now. He's had
I
a Hall of Fame
I
career.
do. I do though.
Do you think he's better than Devontae Smith?
Okay. I don't know. That's close.
That's a really good question.
I would he is if you were going to put him in very good, he is at least over Chris Godwin.
Yes.
I would argue he's
Yeah.
for DK.
Maybe
Yes.
he might be better than DK.
I would argue
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. As long as we're agreeing he's better than Chris Godwin.
Is he
oh,
better
well,
than
yeah,
Brian
he's the
Thomas
wide
Jr.?
receiver one of the team.
Is he better than Brian Thomas?
Uh
I don't know. I would go somewhere top three. Very good.
yeah, I mean skill wise, Brian Thomas is probably better, but
I'd put
I
him.
like Evans. Mike Evans has been that. I think that's fine right there. That's fine. Mike Evans
That's
is
fine.
has been that guy, and he is still that guy. Um, Dante getting the Steelers legend here.
The better Mike. I'll put him right.
Yeah, he's mid.
I'll put him right.
I'd go above Cooks.
Really?
I
I don't know. I
nah,
I was gonna
nah.
put him right above AD Mitchell
Yeah, that's what I would do.
if I could figure out.
If you can figure it out. Where'd he
He's
go?
there we go.
There he is.
see, I was gonna say I think Brandon Cooks has had an underrated career. Brandon Cooks. I'm trying to think of like that NBA analogy here. Brandon Cooks is the Kevin Durant of Michael Jordan, or the Kevin Durant of Mike Evans.
What? I don't.
I don't know
Oh
about.
wait, no, that's I did that wrong.
I
That's
would
an
say he's probably like
NBA.
the. I don't know.
Um, Brandon Cooks is the DK Metcalf of Mike Evans. I don't know.
I would say Mike Williams is the George Pickens of Cortland Sutton's.
That's valid. Did you say Mike
You
Williams?
guys
Is
are
what you
confusing
said?
me, so that's fine.
Yeah, Mike Williams is the George Pickens of Cortland Sutton's, I think.
Who's
Okay.
up right now?
Me with Nico Collins. I'd put him at top of solid, bottom of very good.
I think he's better than Jameson Williams.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'd put him probably right below like JSN or Garrett Wilson.
I right now I think he's better than G Dub.
That's fine. All right, Adam, I want to see this because I feel very strongly about who you have here.
elite for Puka Nacua, I think. Yes, I would take
Okay.
him above Devontae Smith. I would.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You
Oh,
guys
wait,
agree?
what tier did you say?
Elite for Puka.
Yeah. Mhm.
I said right behind Amon Ra.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's a perfect benchmark for the elite tier.
All right.
I do. I really
I
do.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd put him. No, you guys agree. I won't give my take. Rasheed Rice, but pre-injury Rasheed Rice. Oh my God, he was so good.
Pre-injury and pre what did he do
I
that got him in
don't know.
trouble? I forget.
I don't remember.
I
Gambling.
put him. I put him right there.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not going to complain about that. Yeah.
that's fair.
Um,
Odunze.
Adam, you could take Roma Dunze, then I'll take Stefan Diggs.
Okay. Um hmm.
I think the
See,
keep forgetting
I
Dig.
feel like he's kind of like on the same level as Keon Coleman. I
I
would
think
probably
he's
put
better than
him right
Coleman.
behind. Would you say?
I would put him above Coleman. That's just me though.
Yeah, that's fine. Right behind D Hop.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Zay,
he has a higher ceiling than Coleman, personally, but I don't know what you guys think. Anyway,
Yeah, I agree. All right, Stefan Diggs, I'd put right behind Lad McConkey in solid.
cool with that. Yeah,
I still think Marvin Harrison Jr.
yeah.
has to do more to say that he's better than Stefan Diggs, but
Yes, he does.
for sure.
Okay.
gotta scroll down a little bit.
Sorry, my
Who's
bad.
next then? How are we going in order now?
So
Because we went out of order for a while.
I'll take Tank, then Luke could take T, then Adam, you get Terry.
That's fine. That's fine.
So Tank, I think he is I think he is slightly better than Lad. Luke, you may not agree.
It's a little generous for me.
Okay, I could, you know what? I'll put him right above Ayuk.
That's
Yeah.
fine. You can even put him above Calvin Ridley.
I
All
was
right.
gonna say, don't forget he's basically gonna be out all of this coming
This is
season.
true, yeah.
Well,
But if we're talking about pre-injury for Rishi Rice, we can talk about pre-injury for Tank Dell too.
Yeah.
okay, T. Higgins, I would put right below JSN and very good.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dante? Is that too good? Too bad? Like, too
I
high,
think
too
he's better
low?
than Chris Godwin.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah. Honestly, yeah.
I think he's better than Olave, London, and Sutton. That will, I don't know. I think, to be honest, I think we're overrating Chris Godwin just a little bit.
I
yeah, I think we probably are.
feel
I
like
would,
we might be overrating Chris Olave too.
All right, we'll look at that tier at the end here.
okay, we'll keep it how it is right now. Okay, so Adam, you're up with Terry.
Terry. Go back up to the very good for me.
Yeah, tier's about to get crowded.
I would put him right below DK and right before Chris Godwin.
That's a great spot.
Yeah, I have no problem with that at all.
Hold on one sec.
Yeah, now it's getting so crowded, we gotta like move him in there like twice.
All right, I'm up with Lockett, and I think he is right there.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fine. Yeah.
Poor guy's about to play for the Titans, so his career's basically done.
So
The
receivers go to die.
Titans and Ravens are like where receivers go to die,
Yeah.
basically.
Anybody remember Julio Jones and the Titans?
Oh yeah, how could I forget?
Then Julio Jones on the Bucks and the Eagles.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, Tyreek.
Tyreek Hill, I'm gonna put him
This
right
is
below
interesting.
Garrett Wilson.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't either, honestly.
He did nothing impactful last year.
I would rather have Garrett Wilson on my team right now than Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a correct cutoff though, because I'd rather have Tyreek Hill than Jameson Williams.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm up with Xavier Worthy. Um, I would say very top of mid or right behind Michael Pittman
I think
or maybe right behind D-Hop too. I don't know.
I
Maybe I'm overrating
put him
D-Hop.
top of mid.
I'd put him there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
All
Okay.
right.
Zay
So I'm
Flower.
up. Last one, Zay Flowers. Hoo-hoo. Um,
I just got a glimpse of Dante Moncrief-esque, just Christian, just Christian Watson and Deontay Johnson.
um, Zay. I don't think Zay's very good. I think Zay's
Okay.
solid, and I think he goes right above Rasheed Rice.
Okay.
I think it might be a little generous, but that's
Now, are we bumping up guys like Pickens, Cup, Addison, Ladd?
You want to adjust these?
Because we're putting Zay Flowers above these guys. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Would you take Pickens or Zay Flowers?
Pickens.
Really? Okay.
I'd take Zay Flowers.
Dante, you're the tiebreaker.
They're both different receivers. Um, I would probably take Zay Flowers.
Okay, that's
Would you
fine.
take Zay Flowers or pre-injury and pre-crime Rasheed Rice?
Hmm, I guess Flowers.
Yeah, I guess so too.
I would take Zay Flowers, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All
So
right, so
maybe I'm not ridiculous.
no, you're not.
Would you take Lad over Zay Flowers though?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
After
Okay,
Vlad had a crazy year, but I think we need to pay more respect to Zay Flowers.
that's
Being
fair.
the only productive receiver on that Ravens team.
I
Um,
think this looks good.
I think maybe are we overrating Zay because he looks so good on a Ravens team to where we're not usually used to seeing good receivers on? Do you think
Maybe.
possible?
Probably, but we just went through the names. I think it's fine to leave him
I
there.
mean, think about it. He's probably the best Baltimore receiver since who? Like,
Steve Smith.
I was gonna say Steve Smith.
Yeah.
It's been that long that I mean, they've tried and tried and tried to find their receiver one. I mean, Rashad Bateman and however many other guys they tried, and they finally just
Okay.
stumbled and
I'm
they,
looking at this. T. Higgins needs to go right above Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
I think I had him way too low.
Yes.
I I mean, I love Olave, but I don't know if I'd put him that high. He gets a lot of concussions.
I would put
Uh,
I would put London above both.
Above Godwin and Olave, that's reasonable.
That's fine, yeah.
Um,
I,
what about Sutton? Do we like Sutton's placement?
I think yeah, I think that's good for Sutton.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay.
I I might even take no, not right now. No, I think that's fine. I was gonna say I might take Garrett Wilson over JSN.
I don't think I would.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think Nico Collins also right now is better than Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think yeah, I
So,
think this is good.
according to WG, our top 10 receivers in the NFL are from 1 to 10, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Malik Neighbors, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, Devontae Smith, Brian Thomas Jr., and Mike Evans. And DK is our honorable mention.
It's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous to say
That-
that.
That's a good group.
WG knows ball. I think I think we got to keep doing these over the summer. Like
Running backs next.
we got to have an episode where we do like tight ends,
Quarterbacks. We gotta do quarterbacks.
quarterbacks, running backs.
Head coaches,
Head coaches,
Be
yeah.
down to do head coaches,
you
like
know,
Offensive team.
fullbacks,
kickers.
Owners.
owners' daughters. All right, that might be a little. All right, that might be a little over the line. I apologize about that. But
Now, one more
um,
thing I want to talk about. I guess I saw, what do you guys think about the NFL is letting players do flag football at the Olympics? I think that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
yeah, I have no problem with that.
I mean, I just don't want, my number one receiver to like tear an ACL at flag.
Yeah.
That's another
Mhm.
thing. Yeah.
But actually, I think if you're gonna play football, play football.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't want the players to do it.
That's that. Yeah, that contradicts what I just said.
I mean, so yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's good. Um, Banning the tush push didn't happen.
Did not,
Would you
and
ban
I
it?
it should have.
I am fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it too.
it's
Look, I mean, there is no reason that only one team should be good at it.
yeah,
If it's an unbeatable play, then why is one out of 32 teams good at it?
yeah. If I'm any of the other 31 NFL teams, I'm implementing that in training camp and trying to master it. Because it's not like you're not breaking a rule. I don't understand what the outrage is that you can't stop it. And in my opinion, I think it's good for football.
Yeah.
Plays like that are, people are gonna watch football just to see the tush push. And that's just true. And I think it brings personality, it gives the Eagles an identity. Um, yeah, man. And it's just like you gotta appreciate plays like that. I think.
Yeah.
Even
Sure.
though the Steelers voted against it, I don't get it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I do understand because it is annoying whenever it's third and one or fourth and one, and you're like, oh, it's just automatic first down. But
Yeah.
I can understand the Panthers voting against it because they're like Bryce Young is like 5'9" and weighs like 150 pounds. Like he's not strong enough to push himself into the end zone.
no, but I think Xavier Legette is stronger enough to push him in.
That's true. That's true.
Like I don't think Rodgers could push himself in, but I think DK Metcalf could.
I want to see Rodgers try the tush push.
Sick.
His body might break.
Yeah.
He's so old.
I don't know, man. I
He's
watched.
so funny.
Anyway, all right. I'm gonna screenshot this, and maybe we could
Yeah.
do something with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
hmm
sure. Yeah, send it to me because I'll maybe I'll put it on the Instagram.
Here we go.
Live pictures.
I was gonna say make like try not to have the ad cut it off in the
Yeah,
bottom. But then again, if it goes through half of like Deontay Johnson, we'll live.
yeah. I'm not too worried about it. Anyway,
Oh no, they're gonna not reveal that Deontay Johnson is Dante Moncrief-esque. So we think out of these guys, Deontay Johnson is the worst receiver. That's
I don't think he's the worst receiver in the league. I think there are other guys
No,
on
he's not the worst. No, no, he's not the
no.
worst
I
receiver
mean,
in the
I
let's
just
league.
just
meant
put
on
on
this
that list,
list.
maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
man. But hey, Steelers got a very good receiver. I'll take that. I'll take that.
This time next year, Tep McMillan will hopefully be in the solid area, I think.
Dude, I'm really stoked to see him and X. I feel like they could be a really underrated duo in the league.
Yeah.
They're similar receivers. I know McMillan gets a lot of slack for a lot of stuff, but yeah, man.
You got Thielen on his retirement tour, basically. I mean, he's in the last year of his deal. I think this is at least his last year with us. So,
Bro, Hunter Renfro.
oh, that too. Yeah, Hunter Renfro. I'm missing another person, aren't I?
Jalen Coker.
Yeah, Jalen Coker.
Jonathan Mingo. Nah, he's in Dallas.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
we somehow got a fourth round pick for him.
That's
Thanks, Jerry.
that's bleeping crazy.
I
Sorry.
remember being in class and picking up my phone just to see what time it is and seeing Jonathan Mingo traded, and I was like half paying attention. So all I read was Jonathan Mingo and seventh round pick, and I'm like, okay, we got a seventh for Mingo, that's fine. And then I looked at it again, and I'm like, hold up, we got a fourth for him?
Yeah.
Like, what in the world?
Yeah, that's insane.
Crazy. So,
Almost as crazy as getting a second for Claypool.
Please, man. Honestly,
yeah,
I we got more for Chase Claypool than we did for George Pickens. Let that sink in.
hmm
yeah.
Ryan
This
Poles, hang it up, bro.
this is what I've said. The Steelers, they know when to get rid of these guys. It's just they've struggled on replacing them, but they know when to get rid of them. All the time. All the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Anyway,
yeah. I guess that'll do it for us,
yeah.
but we'll be
I'm
back.
excited to do more fun stuff like this. Like I really I can't believe it's taken us this long. Like
I know.
I was thinking, just throwing out, we could do games on here. NFL Jeopardy might be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a blast.
You ever seen the Sporkle games
Local
where
quizzes. I feel
yeah.
like we've done that before, just me and you, Adam, but I feel like,
Yeah, I think we have.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
Back
guys,
in the old days in the WG studio at Beaver.
oh, man, they gotta like name it after us now.
They do.
Well, they made it like a prayer room.
Yeah.
It's only right that it's a holy site because of
Yeah,
Or just name it Greg Hartung Suite.
they're praying for us to come back. That's why they made it like that.
Hey, I did see they leaked the list out of the campuses that are closing. Beaver's not one of them. So
Yeah, but they got rid of the comm department. Whatever,
I know. Like, so
Hey,
dumb.
I'm cool. We
Yeah.
we all like ended up where we were supposed to, but
Yeah.
yeah. hmm
anyway, guys, are you guys still up at your apartment?
Yeah, we have internships up here this summer.
That's right. You told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we won't be up here all summer,
Yeah. Yeah.
but good
Anyway,
enough.
the
Well,
viewers need to know this.
I was gonna say it's here if you want to come up.
I'll definitely be up this summer. Don't worry.
Let's go.
Start mine June 1st. So with Mr. G. Miller.
Yes, sir.
Stoked about that. Yeah. And hopefully I get our PSA feedback while I'm there.
Yeah, dude, you gotta ask him. I need the PSA feedback.
Oh my God. Anyway, let's wrap this thing up.
All right. We are
Yeah, we
your
can talk
host.
about this after the buzzer, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are your host, Adam,
Dante.
And Luke.
and we'll catch you all in the next one. Have a good night, everybody.